next to deal with. He finds the opening. It's 1v1. It's 1v1 and Methodz clutches again.
My name is Anthony Zinni. I go by Methodz in the gaming world, and I play professional Call of Duty for the past 8 years now. First console I ever gamed on, my ex-door neighbor had an Xbox 360, I believe it was, and he had Call of Duty 4. And I never touched Call of Duty before. I played Guitar Hero and Crash Bandicoot and sports games, Madden. Played Call of Duty there and I kind of fell in love. So that Christmas I got the 360, I believe, was my first ever console. I think MW2 just came out as well, so that was my first ever actual Call of Duty. And I'd wake up like 9 a.m., play till midnight or 3 a.m., go to school the next day, sleep in classes. Wasn't the best student. At first, my parents were definitely a little skeptical about what it was. Like I said, I played a lot of sports, and that's sort of the norm, I guess, from where I'm from. I'm also not the skinniest kid, so when my parents see me quit all my sports and just play video games, they start getting worried. They're like, what are you doing? So basically then I told them I want to start traveling the world to play. And this was when eSports wasn't necessarily that big. They were like, what are you talking about? And I brought my dad to the tournament in Philly. I was playing with Nadeshot, Scump, and my boy BL Fire. We won that, and that's when Nadeshot talked to my dad. He was like, your son has a career in this. Ever since then, my entire family, super supportive. I got in trouble in school a lot. Class clown, suspended, kicked off trips, the whole nine. So there was two sides where my mom would be like, take away his shit, and my dad would be like, no, he makes money doing it. So I started pro Call of Duty basically. I was 15 years old when I first went pro, but I would say I started competing when I was like 13, 14. Luckily for me, we had like local tournaments in New Jersey. It was called NJ Halo, where a bunch of other pros went. Me, Spacely, Embo, just a bunch of big name gamers, and I sort of hit it off with them there. When I was 14 or 13, I met a guy named Nadeshot, who is one of the biggest gamers ever. He was sponsored by Red Bull. He was the face of Optic Gaming. After meeting Nadeshot, I obviously met Hector and Scump and all these big names who pretty much took me under their wing and guided me. If I tweeted something stupid, they'd say, delete that. If I was playing with them and I said something stupid, it's like, yo, you gotta relax. I basically had these amazing mentors who were the biggest in the game coming up, and that was a big help in my development professionally. Found like-minded people to compete with. Obviously, I'm 15. Unfortunately, at the time, the big tournament of the year was Call of Duty Championships, and you had to be 18 to compete. So for like 3 years in a row, I'd worked my way up. I was on FaZe Clan 1 year, got dropped because of my age. It was sort of this never-ending cycle of just building my way up, getting great teams, and getting released because of my age. Then I finally turned 18, and that's when
Zero first to drop. Second one is Joe. Methodz chop it. I'm down like lumber. The third is there. Right his head removed.
I'm 23 now, and then won my first tournament in 2018, Atlanta. Actually won the MVP as well, which was awesome. Then later in that year, I joined Optic Gaming, which was probably the biggest roster move in Call of Duty history, which was crazy. I've been around for a while creating content, streaming, playing. I've sort of been doing it all for, like I said, 8 years professionally, but probably 10 years overall. And I'm pretty much a long-standing veteran, even though I'm still one of the youngest. So now, I'm still playing professionally. Now I live in Toronto. I play for the Toronto Ultra, basically one of the 12 franchised Call of Duty teams. The way I explain it best to people is think of sports, but gaming, big money involved now. So it's definitely a lot more official, sort of feels more, like a sport I've played in stadiums. It's always humbling to walk down the street and meet supporters or fans, especially at events. Like kids will swarm you and want autographs. It's a special feeling. My advice for young people trying to make it, it's more so just being dedicated, finding like-minded people who you want to grow and compete with. You're not going to blow up overnight. You can be really good, but you need to be consistently good and prove why you're one of the best. Play in online tournaments, play in matches, do whatever you can to get your name out there. You got to be really dedicated. From ages like 16 to 19, I missed out on all the parties. I was gaming every night. Like, it takes sacrifice. I would say now is probably the best time for gamers to make money. Growing up when I was 15, 16, I was playing for pennies. I was doing it for pure love of the game. And I think now is the time for gamers, especially now all the eyes are on esports and gaming. Esports is one of those things where we can do our jobs from home. I think Gamelancer is pretty unique in the current market. Basically, as a pro myself, I get tons of tweets and DMs saying, hey, can we play? And it puts me in this weird spot where I can't just pick and choose who to play with. And now with Gamelancer, you can book me for a session. We can play together. I can teach you some things. Basically, whatever you want to do. You also find some of your favorite streamers, content creators, and pro players in the platform. So Gamelancer is a great way for me to connect with my followers in a way that I was never able to before. As a pro, the schedule's pretty vigorous. It's pretty busy at times, but I always have downtime, and I think that's when you'll see me posting on my channels about Gamelancer Day. If you want to book me, we can play, we can chat, whatever you guys want to do.